Time to get Southern Fried on Southern Fried Sports. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, JD, the Southern Fried Gentleman. Of course, you know right here next to me, Uncle Poops, Shane Owen, my ride or die, as we would like to call it. Y'all, have we not had the craziest week ever of college football and NFL? Man, I'm telling you what, it has just been nonstop drama. And of course, we got my man, Rowdy Rooster, another great friend and contributor of the show. Last time you saw us, actually, me and Rowdy Rooster were on. You can check that episode out. Don't forget to follow everything. YouTube, subscribe, like this episode, give it a click, give it a view. Twitter, X, Facebook, all that stuff. Rowdy Rooster, what is up to you, my man? Thanks for being here. Shane over there looking like the po-po. Pull over, man. Hey, pull over now. Going too fast. Man, I'm telling you what, though. It's been a wild week. We started off Georgia Tech, 8 overtimes. And you know what we didn't see in that game? A flag planting. You want to know why? Because after 8 overtimes, those dudes was tired. They was like, man, we're going to the hotel. We ain't got time for none of this nonsense. Because to me, that is what this flag planting stuff is. It's nonsense, man. Yes, Baker Mayfield started a trend. Everybody's a copycat. Can we not be more creative, though? Seriously? Can we not just figure out a better way that maybe doesn't cause a fight? I mean, we do live in the internet age. You can go out there and say anything you want. I give credit to Nick Emanwari and DQ Smith. They waited until after the stadium was empty, and they went and ran down the hill. But guess what? That's also a copycat move because that baseball team did it to Clemson this past season. They went and ran down the hill after they, I think, swept them or something in college baseball. And so that's a copycat move. But I'm just so sick of this flag planting nonsense. I'm sick of the fighting. Michigan and Ohio State had to be separated by pepper spray, where some of the fans even got pepper sprayed. I mean, and then we've also got this nonsense Dabo. Here's the one thing I was most disappointed about, and then I'm going to pass it over here to Shane, and he'll tell you all his thoughts on what I'm saying. But Dabo even came out and said something about flag planting and how their team is above doing that. Check notes, Dabo. Y'all did that last year in Columbia, mind you. Your players went out and stabbed a Clemson flag into the middle of Williams-Brice Stadium. So don't bring this nonsense saying, oh, it would have been a bad look if South Carolina would have done it or any other team did it. Your team did it. Call a spade a spade. Shane, what are you thinking?
It's rivalry weekend. I mean, y'all call it hate week. It is what it is. So, I enjoy some passion about it. Virginia Tech, Virginia, they didn't even wait to get in pads before they even started going at it. So, it's a fun time. I mean, it can get carried away a little bit, but nobody was seriously injured per se, other than a little bit of pepper spray, which never tastes good. So, but, it was a fun weekend. I mean, you got another head football coach shouting out, another head football coach like, hey, bud, we got you in.
Hey, that was one thing, too. I call it very interesting. Fran Brown, I don't know if you guys saw this recently or not. Gamecock Chuck, hey, buddy, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. You guys, Rowdy, y'all have a conversation over there on your own. We'll get your comments in here in just a moment. But that's the Fran Brown he just said a few weeks ago, winners get to shower. He literally said if they lose a game, his wife gets mad at him because he doesn't shower or use soap. Winners deserve soap. And so he was actually even on Jim Rome earlier today. I listened to a little bit of him on break. And, man, I'm telling you what, he was one of the – I almost thought it was Deion Sanders. The way he was talking, man, he was cool. I think he even dropped the F-bomb on the radio. They had to clean that up. But he just seemed – I mean –
one of those guys that you got to play for.
Oh, yeah. And, well, he even said, can I send a bottle of champagne over to Ryan Day for letting them get Will Howard? And he said, man, screw a bottle. I'll send him a whole case. But it was just, he was a breath of fresh air. Yes, it was hate week. It was rivalry week. I just feel like there could be better ways to celebrate that doesn't cause a fight. I mean, we saw way too many of them this weekend. I'm still terrified from the 2004 Clemson and Carolina game. I mean, the all-out brawl that was, and I'm pretty sure Lou Holt said they weren't going to play in a bowl game. I'm pretty sure Clemson did the same thing, said they weren't going to play in a bowl game that year because of that incident. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, we've even got Michelle over here. We've got Gamecock Chuck over here. The Clemson team did that, Michelle. Yeah, the Clemson team did that last year. They stabbed the flag on the field. And then a lot of people made a big deal, too, about the Gamecock fans taking a belt to the Clemson ball and tried to compare it to –
shouldn't let everybody in Clemson rush the field, win, lose, draw.
I mean –
that'll clean that up right there if you don't let them rush the field.
Yeah, if you don't let anybody on field, but even then, though, that wouldn't solve the players stabbing. I'm just against the plant flagging nonsense. I really am. I'm against all the fighting. Lose with class, win with class. That's the way we were always taught. Have some respect. You know, be blessed, not stressed, and just be kind to one another, dang it, as we say here on Southern Fried Sports. But Michelle and Rowdy, appreciate all you guys getting here. We got Rowdy, throw it up to Chuck. Let's see what Rowdy said here. So Dabo is against flag planting, but will let his players openly check the oil of opposing teams. Ha ha ha. I don't know if you guys know what checking the oil means, but just feel free to look it up. Clemson offensive lineman. I don't know what to even call it at this point. I don't know how I could say that without getting into trouble. So we're gonna leave that one and that one. We'll leave it at checking the oil, I guess you could say, like Rowdy Rooster did. Let's see what else. Rowdy, you might got me in trouble there. We got Gamecock Chuck. He said, what's up? Rowdy Rooster. And then Michelle. Yeah, Michelle says, wow. Yeah. Literally Clemson players did it last year. And then Dabo had the nerve to say that. And then, again, the Gamecock was accused of pooping on the Tiger paw, which that story has been debunked. How do you call yourself a journalist and just outright lie? I'll never understand. But the sports information director called that one out. So anyways, plant flagging? No, flag planting. Flag planting is what we were talking about. There we go. But words are hard. I say it all the time. So anyways, how about, have you guys seen the Jahmyr Gibbs story? This guy apparently went on to TikTok with a whiteboard of all the plays behind him. And they even have plays written up on the board that are called the Caitlyn Jenner, the Khloe Kardashian, the Ellen Winfrey. They've got blue red spider. I've got the screenshot. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but I could. I'll pull it up maybe while Shane's talking, and I'll see if I can get a few more funny names in. But this guy shared out a TikTok, an offensive running back for the Detroit Lions, shared out a video with all kinds of the offensive plays written out behind him. And his coach found out about it in a press conference and ended said press conference immediately. And now the offensive coordinator, though, comes out and says that, oh, yeah, we meant to do that. He's like, it's not like they can stop us anyway, is what Ben Johnson said. So do you buy it? I think it was a leak. I think they know they're going to change everything now. I mean, you can't possibly believe they're going to really just keep things the same, right?
If your head coach doesn't know that fact and walks out the press conference, I mean, either one, it's a great acting job, or two, it was accidentally leaked. So that's one thing. But hey, you know, the Lions have proven this year that hardly anybody can stop them. I mean, they've put up, 40 points at least in 3 different games this year already, and look like the strongest candidate in the NFC if they can survive the North, which is a pretty tough division right now, what I can see. But hey, you know, stuff like this can be fabricated, and it can be fabricated to go, um, you know, 2 different ways. You know, yes, they meant to do it, um, and then it's going to become a whole another big issue of, you know, well, why are they doing this? Well, hey, you know, nobody says that you can't be on social media and stuff like that. I mean, most players are, especially, you know, after big games, wins, stuff like that. I mean, and we're also talking the NFL. That, you know, a lot of teams that win and stuff. You know, I know that they did play Thursday, and all. So I'm not sure exactly when the video came out, the TikTok and all.
Yeah, I don't know when it came out either. Yeah,
it could be that they, you know, each week you have different hot calls, you know, and that's, you know, being in a fast-paced offense like I was in high school. I mean, we had hot calls and, you know, wristbands and all that. So, I mean, that would be nothing to change it up week to week. You know, we always used a variation of stuff, you know, but mostly everything would start with an R, you know, Raymond, Larry, you know, do kind of those kind of things.
Larry does not start with an R.
No, but Larry for left.
Oh, okay, I got you. You went both on there. I was like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so you go both directions, but it's a variation of those R and L words.
Right.
So, you know, that's just one thing. Yeah, that's just kind of one thing that we did, but you know, we changed it up every week. And I was in a high school environment, so I know that they're doing it in the NFL. Got to be
right. Well, and things are so competitive now. I mean, even here in the rivalry week recently, we've been accused of stealing signs and everything else. And so I did want to circle back to a couple of comments though that we got in that I didn't get to. Gamecock Chuck, the belt to the logo was weird, classless in my opinion. I'm opposed to the whole storming the field. All that stuff is a reliability issue and disrespectful. I agree. I'm not for any of it, really. I mean, and what are we storming the field about? You know, and I'm not necessarily talking about the Clemson game. I'm talking about some of the other teams that literally they're ranked and beat a ranked team and they storm the field. I mean, we've seen numerous ones get fined this year in the SEC for storming the field. We saw the Hedges. I mean, I'm not going to, you know, cut anybody out. Gamecocks. I mean, they stormed the field. They destroyed the Hedges. Williams-Rice had to pay a fine to the other team. I want to know what that fine goes to. I mean, is it meant here's some NIL money maybe to spend? Does it go directly to the athletic department? Who knows where this fine goes? And so that's why I've got a huge issue with all of that nonsense. And then let's see, hold up, I missed one. Where'd Rowdy Roosters go? Yeah, let me get Rowdy Rooster. The belt to the logo was stupid, and those fans were dumb for doing it. Seemed like a toddler celebration. I'm okay with rushing the field, but for the right games. Right, I mean, no doubt. I mean, if it's the number one team and you're not ranked, I'm not going to yell at anybody about rushing the field at that point. The whole belt to the logo thing was, Debo Williams, though, has apparently been saying, you know, belt to butt cheeks here lately. And so I think that was a tribute to the defense a little bit with the belt to the logo thing. But again, I agree. I don't necessarily agree with any of that nonsense. I mean, in the internet world, like I said, there are far better ways to celebrate than that. And so, yeah, but that goes back to the cheating thing. Jahmyr Gibbs, he had some... They have a Caitlyn Jenner, y'all, a Khloe Kardashian, and Ellen Winfrey. I mean, it was just funny. I wish I understood it. I don't. I can't sit here and claim that I do. Let's see what Gamecock Chuck says before we swap up content here. Did y'all see the Kentucky player at the concession stand during the game? He was playing in the game. What was he doing? Getting a hot dog?
Hey. Listen, I've many games. Hey, let me get a Snickers bar or something like that during the middle of a game, especially when I was younger. You a lot of players now, because of the length of the halftime in the pros and stuff like that, and even in college, sometimes they change uniforms and eat meals.
He said it was on Twitter, so it had to be real. I mean, yeah, that's funny. I mean, but you always went.
But then a lot of teams have that for you on the sidelines.
Right.
Like, I mean, what's the latest thing going around? Pittsburgh Steelers or something, and they're Uncrustable.
Right. Yeah. They eat like 3,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah,
like it's insane.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
think about how many Skittles Marshawn Lynch ate on the sideline. But in the pros, they got that stuff for you. But I mean, even in college, weren't they in Kentucky? Could he not get a trainer or something? Be like, yo, man, hey, I need a Snicker bar. I need a hot dog, something. Slice pizza.
Well, the way that team gave up on that game, I don't blame the coaches for not going to get them anything either.
Maybe that's why he was at the concession stand. He was like, we ain't winning no way. I'm just going to go get me a hot dog. Oh. Anybody want some boiled peanuts while I'm gone? Coca-Cola?
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you something to drink while I'm there. That's funny, Chuck. I'm glad I read that. It had to be true, though. Ben, we just talked about that. Do I agree with flag in the field celebrations? No, I do not. We just started off the whole first part of the episode talking about that, so we're not going to travel back to it. But no, I do not agree with it. Feel free to rewind, though. The whole episode is available to watch on YouTube. So, what else do we have to talk about? How about the Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos? Bo Nix, man, turned into a pretty daggone good rookie quarterback so far. What do you think?
Looks like the best in the class so far. Caleb Williams was it beginning of the year. He's it end of the year.
Jaden started out on fire.
With Jaden's slowly declining, but he's still got that great ability. Plus,
absolutely.
Plus, his team's in a great situation right now with kind of where they're at. They're kind of secured in, especially in the NFC. This AFC is wild. I mean, you look at it. The Bills and the Chiefs have already clinched playoff spots. Bills and clinched the division already.
Earliest it's been clinched since like 2009, I think.
Yeah, and of course they were talking about it, which I hate to see it because you hear flex games. You talk about moving, like they were talking about possibly moving this game the way both teams were playing at the beginning of the year to maybe possibly we could have seen the Baltimore Jets game tonight. Baltimore Philly game tonight. Instead, a lot of people didn't see it unless you had NFL Sunday ticket or lived outside the Carolina region because that was the only game that was shown, I believe, was the Carolina Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
In the afternoon slot. So, I mean, I wish I could have seen that game, but these two teams are playing good right now, just like you were talking about the Chargers last week. Chargers in Atlanta, that was a good game.
Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, but it was a good game back and forth. It was a true. I'd say the weekend was a true both football senses, pros and college, was a weekend of attrition.
Oh, Rowdy Rooster, he just chimed in. Bo just doing an interception as I was talking about him. Thanks. Appreciate that. So I was bad luck for Bo Nix. I guess I will keep his name out my mouth. And then, yeah, we've seen some crazy things in the NFL. I feel like the NFL drama, this has been one of the closest seasons it's compared to college, in my opinion. Normally, we do see craziness in college football. But NFL certainly has lived up to the drama the last few weeks. I mean, think about Kansas City. How many, if you flip their record of one-loss games, which I know K Ford has a rating for this, so I'll have to check it. I guarantee you they would be like 7-4, 6-5 at best.
Yeah.
If you just flip their one-score games to losses that they've won. So, I mean, they're flirting. I thought the Ravens would be stronger. I thought the Jets would be a little bit better, especially, but man, they just.
But I see it. It's kind of what's opened up in the college ranks as well as the NFL ranks is you see a bunch of talent distribution between all the teams now. You don't necessarily see Dallas, getting great people in there for some god awfully reason with the salary cap, the way that they had that offensive lineman, locked down for so many years. It's going to be it's good to see. The middle of the pack is so exciting to watch at that point. It's kind of like going to a NASCAR race. You got your favorites and all that are going to be out front during that. But then if you sit there and you start watching towards the back of the pack and not just watching like the television cast that they have, you start watching 12 through 26. That's some racing going on. So I mean, I enjoy seeing it, and I'm glad that we're able to see good talent being used at many different places.
Right. Well, that's the NASCAR scenario you just described there. That reminds me of like the 2nd through the 8th place team of the SEC. Literally, like all of them are 5-3. I mean, it's just ridiculous that somehow we ended up with Georgia and Texas. Golly, I don't even know who to pull for. Clemson backdooring their way into the playoff. And that was one other thing I wanted to talk about.
They got to win.
Yeah, let me get these comments in, and then we'll talk about that and the college football playoff committee that comes out tomorrow at 7. So we talked about Rowdy. Rowdy, you did say something about the Lions falling to the Bears. The Lions won, didn't they?
I think so.
Lions won the other day on Thanksgiving. Yeah. I think they did. Michelle says goes Broncos. She says go Broncos. It was better when Peyton was there. Yeah, man. I flip in on the Manning cast from time to time just because I like Peyton and Eli, and they're funny. Ben Blaylock, he says they were saying Philadelphia and Baltimore game was a Super Bowl preview. Philadelphia, maybe. I think it'll be Philadelphia and Detroit right now if I had to pick. Philadelphia and Detroit in the NFC Championship game. For the AFC, though, I really don't think Baltimore is going to make it. I think it could either be the Steelers and the Chiefs. You got the Bills you got to throw in there, the Chargers. I mean, I'm not ready to rule anybody out really at this moment. I'm really not. What do you think? If you had to pick right now, could you pick anybody from the AFC that you're really comfortable with?
As far as two teams, yeah, I'd say Steelers and Bills. Steelers, Bills.
That would I could see that.
Steelers, Bills, and that's based on.
Oh, Mike Tomlin, by the way, he secured another record season that he will not be below 500.
Hey,
death taxes and Mike Tomlin not having a losing record.
That's things you can count on at that point.
I literally just saw. I mean, with their win, they literally just secured it. And then, of course, like I said, we've got the Browns and the Broncos playing now. We've got a few Broncos fans up in here. Rowdy, he also agreed with Michelle. Let's see what else we got. Ditto, Rowdy. My bad. Hey, well, do me a favor, Rowdy Rooster. Since you're spanking my butt in fantasy football, I'll tell you what. Read that score backwards and let me get this dub, bro. You was on a 3-game losing streak. I had won 6 in a row, and you went and put me night, man. You burnt me up, dude. I'm 170 something points with 6 players.
Oh yeah,
I was projected 130. Smoked me on a 3-game losing streak. Smoked me. So you know what? Read that score the wrong way, Rowdy. While we're at it. Michelle said she was surprised to see the Panthers play so well against the Chiefs. Hey, at some point, the winning has to start for the Panthers. I mean, it really does. The winning, in order to win, you got to get used to winning.
Yeah. But
you can't just lose every week and expect, you know what I mean?
But the questions that they had on why they were losing and the way that they were losing was on the offensive side of the ball. The past few losses have been completely on defense. That's one thing that you got to look at, and that's why kind of the hope's coming around because everybody's talked about, the fact that Bryce is doing so well right now, but hey, it could come up here at any moment that he's just going to, have that other slump. But I don't think we'll see it because of the way the offensive line's playing and how they're calling the game. With if Chuba doesn't fumble, that's one thing. But turnovers happen, especially in those situations, and it's up to your defense to get that stop. And they had plenty of opportunities to do that on that final drive that led them down to score. So,
I mean, yeah, and it was ridiculous. The Panthers, though, yeah, at some point you got to get used to winning. It's wild the roller. That's what I was going to say. It's wild the roller coaster that Bryce Young's been on this year, from starter to benched to getting your job back because Andy Dalton broke his thumb in a car wreck, which Bryce Young's played very well. I saw a lot of people come after Xavier Legette the other day for that drop pass. But I actually tweeted out that first we left like 10 points on the field. I know we missed a field goal that should have been made. And then I know we had another chance to score a touchdown. I think we fumbled No, Adam Thielen. That's what it was. Adam Thielen got robbed of that touchdown where they said he didn't secure the ball. And so that was 10 points there. And I was like, man, those are going to be the two plays. So the Panthers are playing winning football. So hopefully they continue the trend.
Yeah, I just don't know because Pinheiro or whatever his name is, kicker, he was 3 for 5 going into that overtime. Missed both kicks left and missed the extra point, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was 50-50 if he was going to make that or not, And then they tried to set him up to the left hash where he's been missing everything from the left hash to the left all game.
Mm-hmm.
So that run play really never sort of went that way, in my opinion. It should have been a sneak, center the ball up. If he misses it, it's time to go hit the free agent market.
Right.
I mean,
I've always been a fan of line the ball. I mean, unless your kicker is just absolutely more comfortable from the right or the left for whatever reason, if they've got a slice or a hook or whatever, line them up right in the middle. I mean, it makes
wherever they want the ball, line them up, but don't take it out your quarterback's hands. Make it be a safe thing because they're going to protect that guy no matter what. So once he starts to go down, that's a whistle. So if the ball starts coming out when the quarterback starts going down, because they mark him where he starts his slide, the ball comes out like he just lets go of the ball whenever he starts to slide. Is that a fumble? But no, because you're calling the ball dead wherever he starts his slide while he still has possession. So you take that unnecessary fumble that happened at the end of the game out of it. While we're on kickers missing, what's up with Justin Tucker this year?
Man, the kicker, yeah. I'm glad you said that because, bro, Justin Tucker, what?
Automatic from 50+. And it's like 3 of 7 this year.
He had never missed 3 field goals in a game until yesterday. And I've even seen his all-time percentage. His kicking has been so bad this year. His all-time percentage has now been overtaken by somebody else who's kicking, and I forget their name. But somebody's over just by how bad, because Justin Tucker was like way ahead.
Hall of Fame caliber.
Yeah, GOAT. Jim Rome said, how did a goat turn to a donkey? Justin Tucker, though, his descent has been wild. I've had him on my fantasy team before. Glad I didn't have him now. We got Mark. What's up, brother? Oh, yeah, go Eagles. You missed that part of the conversation. We were just talking about the Eagles and all that stuff a little bit. Let's see. Rowdy Rooster, he says the Panthers have shown the most growth out of all 32 teams in the last 3 games. I would say the Gamecocks compared to college in that regard. They've shown the most growth in the last 6 games, which is where I'm going to go right now.
Browns have shown it too.
All that took was Jameis Winston getting in.
The most inspiring second-string quarterback you'll ever meet. Jameis Winston.
And he's been tons better since he got that LASIK surgery.
Oh, yeah. When he
remember when he was throwing picks and he was like, "Y'all, I'm blind."
He was 33 for 33 or something like that.
And he was like, "I'm blind." I shouldn't tell nobody. I was just blind. I ain't know who I was throwing the ball to. I was just throwing it.
Yeah, he thought Bruce was black. one of the memes I saw. Bruce Arians. He said, "Well, I thought it was black."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, just see, all you see is blurs out there on the field. I'm gonna throw it to that guy. Literally,
he still led the league in touchdowns that year too, though. So
yeah, he's a daggum good quarterback. Again, though, paying a quarterback $250 million is a terrible thing. Trevor Lawrence hurt. Deshaun Watson not playing.
Trevor Lawrence is not. That's not of his doing.
Well, no, that was a dirty hit. Yeah. That was a dirty hit on Trevor yesterday for sure. Jameis is great. Love that guy. He is just out playing ball and having fun. Yeah, too bad he stole a bunch of crab legs back in college, right, man? Got that bad rap right out of school, man. I'll tell you what. But no, he's been a great quarterback. New Orleans, Tampa Bay, even now for the Browns, I think he's been great. Let's see what else. That's what I was going to go to though. The college football playoff. The Gamecocks. As Rowdy said, the Panthers have had the most growth of any NFL team so far this season. In my opinion, the Gamecocks have done nothing short of that. Yes, we had the loss to LSU. Everybody can talk about all the bad calls all you want to. Still lost the game. Doesn't matter. Went to Alabama. Had some bad coaching calls. Lost the game by 2 points. Still doesn't matter. We will be the first team left out, unfortunately. But here is my beef. I am so sick of everybody talking about what they think the committee is going to do. For the love of Christ, just tell me what the committee is going to do, and then let's just live with it after that, okay? I don't need to hear all this nonsense about how great the Gamecocks have been and how it's splitting hairs and how we should be in, because that just sets me up for disappointment. That's why I expect to lose most Saturdays, because it's just easier to deal with that way. So I'm just sick of waiting on it. Just show me where we're going to be. Show me the bowl game. Let's go get 10 wins, and let's just be better next year. Unfortunately, we got to play Virginia Tech first game next year.
And Pop Watson, if we would have probably been 9-3 this year in y'all's boat, sitting there looking at a possibility. If we had Pop Watson playing all year, the way he looked, good for the future. But I can tell you that I would not be surprised in any sort of way, and this is the way I think it's going to go, is both Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina, all three lost SEC teams, will be left out because SMU plays a close game to Clemson and proves that just because they think that a three-loss SEC team, might be better at the moment, doesn't mean that you put in the argument that 10-2 or 10-3. Well, no, they'd be a 10-2. What are they now? 10-2.
Who?
SMU or
SMU 10 no 11-1.
11-1. So they'd be 11-2. And they've played two ranked teams. One of them being the AC.
Oopsie, that was my bad.
Yeah,
I was having some trouble. My comments were saying they were spam for some reason.
He did it.
Yeah.
He did
Anyways, somebody, I was trying to comment back to Ben. He said he doesn't understand how Alabama can get in. They struggle in all the games. Well, I mean, they're 9-3, and then I'm just confused how they didn't fall further again with that Oklahoma blowout. Oklahoma 6-6. Didn't even score a touchdown. I mean, of course, I think then you look at the Gamecocks. They had one of those games too.
Yeah.
Ole Miss at home, 27-3. So it's really splitting hairs amongst all these teams. And I cut off Shane there a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, Gamecock Chuck, he said we're going to drag Virginia Tech next year in Atlanta.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
And then Rowdy Rooster, he says we need SMU to win. I agree there.
Yeah, that's about the only situation I see because I think that SMU gets in just because they don't want to hear that same mess that you heard from the Florida State snub last year.
Right.
You know,
Well, and then
you
Chuck
look at
says
it.
is the best thing for a Gamecock though would be SMU to win. That way
Oh
Clemson stays below us.
yeah, but then that way
that way Clemson
possibility
and
sneak
SMU
in.
don't get in.
But then you've got the conversation about the Alabama, South Carolina conversation. So at that, you got Bama head to head on that. A 2-point win at home is like that's basically on the road like a 1 or 2 point win at home. Is what they say. 2-point loss on the road, 1 2-point win at home. That's how they kind of figure that in. The head-to-head really doesn't mean much to me because they played October. Here we are; it's December now. If you look at it the way, if they're talking about the way they treated Florida State and with Jordan Travis last year, it was because,
losing a quarterback in the game.
It was because that quarterback made the team. South Carolina's losses. Sellers
was out the second half of the LSU game.
Yeah, was out the second half, and then the next week in Alabama.
Yeah. Well, no, he played Alabama. He was out that Akron week.
Yeah,
but him and Rocket both weren't 100% in that Alabama game.
Yeah, so
you could tell.
you get those.
Norris got healthy. Bro was scattered.
You get those, but and then you look at it. Had 18 broken tackles this past week against Clemson. Only Genty had more this year in 20. But a funny stat that I saw was Sellers rushed for 171 yards or something like that. 176 of it was after contact.
Oh yeah.
So 5 of those yards.
6'3", 242. Hopefully, in this nutrition system, he just gets bigger and better. But back to the main point, though, like we were saying, man, I'm just so sick of projecting. Can you tell me what the college football? I mean, how far does Ohio State fall? Who's even playing for the Big 12?
I can tell you, Indiana gets in, Oregon gets in, Texas and Georgia get in. That's all I can say.
Probably even Tennessee, right? 10-2.
Yeah, you see Tennessee up there, but
because they're already in the top 12, so they have no reason to fall.
Oh yeah, but I think SMU takes that second Big 12 or team that they were thinking about, that second Big 12 team. So and then it's going to be interesting with Penn State being in the championship game.
Yeah,
if they win it, then you gotta put them in, and then here comes this argument: if SMU doesn't beat Clemson, you're talking to SMU, Ohio State at this point getting in over Bama, South Carolina, teams of that nature. So it's going to be fun to watch. Come what
tomorrow
5 o'clock?
Yeah, and maybe even
5 o'clock Sunday night, whether it's something like that.
Maybe after championship. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, after championship week, because that's when the selection committee comes and says, "Boom, here we got it." Notre Dame gets in.
Because you got Notre Dame's in. There's literally only 2 spots that we're talking about filling at this point. Really, a lot of them are filled. The conversation is going to be insane, no doubt about it. Ben, he said, I'd much rather South Carolina get in over them. I would too, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Mark Livingston, if you would have told any Gamecock fan that we would win 9 games and beat Clemson this year, we would have all taken it. No lie detected, because I said 4-8. I said until I see some play on the field, until y'all can prove it to me, I don't want to hear it. And then we got better and better. We even started 3-3, y'all. Who would have ever imagined we went on a 6-game win streak? Great season, Gamecocks. No doubt about it. Alabama is the head-to-head on SC. We drug both teams that beat them, Vandy and OU. Yep. And we beat Kentucky that beat Ole Miss. And then Ole Miss skunked us. And then Bama gets in due to brand. I agree there. That was one thing I was going to mention for sure. We got, here you go, Gamecock Chuck, Arizona State and Iowa State. That's what I thought. I just didn't want to say the wrong thing. I got Shane's cousin, our cousin. He wants to play Colorado in a bowl game for the Gamecock Chuck. I don't know how I feel about that. I do agree there. Only one Big 12 gets in. I agree. Ben, I don't think Clemson can play with SMU. They have a very good offense and defense. Which group of 5 would I put in? I mean, obviously Boise State's in the driver's seat there.
Should get a first round bye.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing too. Everybody, even myself, thought it was the top 4, the P4, ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. I thought those conference champions got the bye, no matter what.
Highest ranked 4 conference
It's the high,
champions.
exactly.
Doesn't matter if it's Power 4, Group of 5. Doesn't matter.
And so Clemson can still find themselves up there, possibly.
Yeah, but
Boise State, I think
they wouldn't be ranked the highest.
But see, even if Boise State ended up being ranked like 9th, and with UNLV beating them this weekend, UNLV would probably still not make the playoff, but Boise State would bump out.
But
and another G5 would probably jump in.
The next G5 is.
It would have to be the next G5 champion.
Well, no. It could be the next. It just got to be the next group of 5. Period.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I thought it was the next.
No.
But
It's
that was wild.
It's just a seeding. It's just
that
a
was
seeding
wild,
that would
too.
have them at a bye.
That would
if
be
they won out.
Absolutely wild too, for sure. Gamecock Chuck had us at 6-6. I wanted to flirt with that number. I was wondering what Oklahoma, LSU, Texas A&M, Missouri would be like. Obviously, I chalked up the 4 wins: Vandy, Akron, Old Dominion, Wofford, and then everything else was pretty much tossed up at that point. We will not make the playoffs, Mark says. We're going to be in on a New Year's Day bowl, have a ton of national attention, which is going to be great for recruiting and the portal. I agree. Dude, the portal has gone wild already. Concepcion, NC State, portal. Florida State, defensive end, portal. Jadeveon Clowney's cousin, get this. Demon Clowney. Is his name, from East Carolina. Literally, y'all. Demon. He might pronounce it Demon. I don't know. But it's spelled demon.
And Kyron Drones, quarterback for Tech.
Texas had a wide receiver hit the portal.
Costellos from BC. He's gone. So, yeah, it's going to be – I'd much rather worry about that than say February.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got signing day 2 days. Mark, that's it, man. You agree? Rowdy Rooster agrees, Mark. He thinks we end up Citrus Bowl against Illinois. That's the one I want. I would much rather play Illinois than Colorado. I don't want that Shador. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that Colorado smoke. I'll be honest. I don't want none of that Colorado smoke. No pun intended.
Well, I mean, really, if you think that they're getting into maybe a New Year's Bowl, you'd see them play. But if they're not getting into a New Year's Bowl, do you think that him or Hunter would play?
Oh, yeah. They already said they were going to play. Deion's already said they play him. Deion was like, yeah, they playing. I'm pretty sure.
His contract once they fired Mike.
Well, his contract expires, so they're just going to let him expire, I think. But, yeah. So, anyways, y'all, that's what we had for you this evening on Southern Fried Sports. Ben, he says Boise's strength of schedule isn't good, to which I reply back, their biggest feather in their cap is losing to Oregon by 3 points. Illinois would be interesting because they have Justin Stepp as their wide receiver coach. I had forgotten that, Rowdy Rooster. See, that's why I need you guys here. That's why I need y'all here. Y'all talk, y'all help with the conversation. We love it. Good stuff, y'all. So I am the Southern Fried Gentleman. This, Uncle Poops. Y'all remember, go follow, like, share, subscribe. Do all that fun stuff. Words are hard. I tell you all that all the time. But as for now, Uncle Poops, tell them goodbye.
Yep. Peace, love, bacon, grease.
All right. Y'all be kind. Be blessed. Not stressed. Y'all have a good week. Christmas is in literally like 23 days, y'all. What are we going to do? It'll be here before we know it. We'll see y'all soon. Have a good night.